I have had a terrible week though, and I'm gonna not talk about that, but just know that I've got my excuse lined up already. So if you don't like it, then that's why. But also, if I miss something, if I say something that you don't agree with, that you don't like, or you don't understand, or sounds weird, or you feel like you're missing something, we can stop. This can be a discussion. You don't have to say your question. Just let me know, and we'll figure it out, and everyone will benefit, hopefully. So, how many people here know JavaScript? All right. How many people are familiar with C#? All right. Hey, how many people write C#? All right. Cool. How many people like JavaScript better? How many people like C# better? All right. So we'll go to a bar later tonight. We'll figure that out. Hit play some beer pong or something. I've been doing JavaScript for like 15 years. Way back before it was cool, and I think it's really cool now. I don't know about back then so much, but I've been doing .NET for about 10 years. And I do them probably about equally now. I bounce around a little bit, but I'm talking with Lee, and he thought that might be cool, especially after seeing some stuff in the Orlando devs meetup on the salary survey about kind of what C# means to Orlando specifically. I thought it might be kind of cool to talk about C# from the JavaScript kind of intro perspective. So, I'm Jacek. Been working for 15 years. I have a podcast called Coding Box as well. And trying to get better at communication, doing stuff like this. So, I also appreciate any feedback you have for me. And I think that if you only learn 2 languages, that JavaScript is a great one to have because it's everywhere, it's ubiquitous, it's kind of eating the world. Everyone has to know a little bit of JavaScript. It's getting really hard not to know JavaScript. But I also think that C# is a great choice as well. And I think there's a lot of overlap, particularly in the way that you write the code and the way the language kind of flows and feels. But there's a couple things that JavaScript can do that C# is not so good at. And there's a couple things that C# can do that JavaScript is not so good at. So I want to kind of take a look at that tonight and kind of to go over those. But really, I want to focus more on the commonalities. I want to focus on what you can go and do with C#, like getting out of this meetup. So tonight, we'll talk a little bit about why C#, talk about what it is. We'll talk a little bit about the differences and a lot about the similarities. And we'll see some code. And we're going to be a lot of unicorns. By the way, this shirt. Oops, I hit the mic. Sorry, YouTube. This shirt, kind of hard to see back there, but it's a beautiful unicorn being written by a buddy of mine, that program guy.co, and he's got a phrase that I really like called "You Can Do the Thing." It's all about encouraging people, making videos that kind of elevate and empower people to make cool stuff with computers. And I really appreciate that message, and I figured it kind of flowed well, so it'd be kind of cool to kind of theme this presentation around unicorns. So that's my favorite one. So why talk about C#? So I want to kind of quickly hit on what C# is and what it kind of means to modern development. There's a long history. It's been around like, I don't know, 15 years, maybe more. I probably should look that up. But it's a long history, and so depending on when you heard about it, how you heard about it, who you talked to, you might have a different kind of snapshot in time of that history when you kind of heard about it. And some of that stuff might be right on, some of it may not be. So I wanted to kind of take a fresh look at it. And first of all, how many people knew that C# is open source? It's kind of weird, right? That's not the Microsoft that I grew up with. I think it's still pretty weird. But it's open source in the same way that JavaScript is open source. There's a language, and there's an association, Microsoft in this case, that has open source specification for C#. So you can go and fully implement your own C# compiler, C# language, according to that specification, and it will be C#. But also, like JavaScript, Python, and a lot of other languages, the compiler is also open source. And that just happened a couple years ago. That's kind of new. Now, the compiler is open source. You can fork it. You can write your own implementation. Anyone ever heard of Mono? So that's another implementation of C# language. It's what Unity 3D uses. It's what Xamarin uses. It's another version of C#. It's not connected to .NET. We'll get into .NET. It's cross-platform. That is also new to me, but it's not new in terms of the last couple of years. It's been happening since .NET Core came about. Is anyone here confused about .NET and .NET Core? Yeah, it's weird, but they're making it better. Also, breaking news from Build this year, making some changes. We'll talk about that, but we're going to ditch the .NET Core and .NET distinction. It's going to be .NET 5. We're going to forget. It's going to move on. So, cross-platform, it'll run on Linux. It's got to run on the Mac I've got up here. Now, I'm not running a VM, not doing anything fancy. It's just going to work. It's a compiled language, and that's the source of a lot of the differences between JavaScript and C#. But a lot of those differences don't really matter to you while you're coding. It doesn't really matter when the language is compiled, other than you catch errors sooner. You can't put out code that's broken. You can break anything, but it'll catch a lot of mistakes ahead of time, so it makes it harder for me and somebody else to be working on different areas of code and not realize that we're breaking each other until things get merged in. And it, in a way, it kind of acts like a rudimentary form of kind of automated testing. Kind of, sort of. Memory management works a little bit different than JavaScript. It kind of doesn't matter. So I kind of don't want to focus too much on that. And that's some of this hand waving here. So there's a whole lot of stuff, a whole lot of places that can go with that. I was going to twist you around in circles. Ultimately, don't really matter. So about that .NET. .NET's a framework that lets you build a lot of stuff. That's about the best definition that anyone can give you. And it still kind of sucks. But you can do a lot of stuff with it. If you want to build a game, if you want to build a website, if you want to build a mobile app, if you want to make console GUIs, then .NET has tools for you. .NET is Microsoft. It's owned by Microsoft. It's provided by Microsoft. And .NET 5 is the future. So the way things kind of went, they went .NET 1, 2, 3, 4, .NET Core 1, 2, 3. There were these kind of two different forces. They kind of did the same things. One was open source, cross-platform, and the other was kind of dumb. It said, screw it, we're going to take .NET Core, we're going to continue it, we're going to call it .NET 5. It doesn't have to be compatible with this other stuff up here, .NET Core 4, or .NET 4. So I just threw a bunch of numbers, and I decided not to do. Dang it. So is anyone confused yet?
Yep.
All right, getting there, cool. So, why would we want to talk about C# at all? We talked a little bit about what it is .NET. But for me, the kind of reasons that I got from it is enterprise. So large companies, large projects, large teams love languages that are static because if I'm over here changing names, changing functions, and you're over there changing names, changing functions, it's easy to catch those kind of mistakes. It's easy for me to click around the code and kind of zoom over to see where all that code is used. Now, JavaScript tooling has gotten a lot better in recent years. Like you get some things like some autocomplete stuff, Visual Studio Code and other places. That's kind of newer to JavaScript. C#'s had that forever. The tooling around that is really good. And we'll see some stuff in Visual Studio Code later where it shows you exactly how many references you can click to see who's calling your code in your projects. It's really nice if you're not used to that sort of thing. That's the kind of things that make enterprises like it. They like that it's a popular language. They like that it's now open source, cross-platform, and stable. It's got a mature ecosystem. It's got stuff that works with like SharePoint and SQL Server and Microsoft BI, and Excel, and all sorts of stuff that businesses have been using for a long time. So it's kind of entrenched in their ecosystems. Also, C# just happens to be awesome. And maybe I'm biased by it, so I think it's a great language. I think the syntax is fantastic. And I think out of the static languages, kind of this category, it's my favorite. You're allowed to disagree. So, what kind of stuff can you do with JavaScript? It's kind of, or like you can kind of do anything with JavaScript nowadays, right? There's game engines in JavaScript. You can open files in JavaScript. That's kind of crazy. Node.js runs on the server now. Weird. You got front-end websites. C# kind of has all that stuff too. It's kind of hard to ask what any kind of modern programming language can do because they can call out to other languages, they can call out to operating systems and resources, they have hooks into everything. So in kind of a way, like any programming language is able to solve the same kind of problems, it's just a matter of how easy it is to solve those types of problems. So C#, thanks to .NET, is really good at making like, those kind of crusty old Windows apps that you used to see in like, Photoshop 2005 or whatever. There's the new kind of looking apps, like Windows 10 style stuff. That's kind of cool. You can build old stuff too. SharePoint, which is SharePoint. Big in enterprise, not so popular with the people who work on it. Xamarin, so you can build native apps, iPhone, Android. Office, that's kind of a big one. It's easy to work with C# and integrate with Office and send mail merges and create PDFs and Word documents and generate PowerPoint with C#. It's not easy though, it's way harder than you would think. Azure integration is great. Whenever Azure rolls out a new service, you can bet C# is one of the first languages that they support, if not the first. Any Hearthstone fans? So that's probably the most popular game built with Unity, which also uses C#. That one's not built with .NET. That runs off Mono, different implementation, same language. It's a couple versions back though. And then there's ASP. Anyone heard of ASP? And so it's kind of, when people talk about C#, they say they're a .NET developer. I would say probably 50% of the time, maybe 30% of the time, they're working in ASP.NET. That's how you build websites. It's the prescribed way in Microsoft of building websites. And so a lot of people will take it for granted. You say you're a .NET developer, that you work with ASP. So at least half the time, I would say, if someone says they're a .NET developer, they work with ASP, or at least they have, they're familiar with it. And that's what we're going to see tonight, so demo. It's got a lot of stuff. It's kind of cool. Now, there's nothing up there that you couldn't do with JavaScript. JavaScript, the language itself is single-threaded, so I can't spin up multiple threads, but Node is multi-threaded. The in and out, the I/O is multi-threaded. I can call out to C++ and other native code and do things in a multi-threaded way. So it's not a big limitation, but it's a hurdle. It's something that makes it harder to do. And that makes it harder to do like things like game engines, where I need to be able to share memory between different threads without making copies of that data for those different workers. It's just inefficient. So that's a rough spot for JavaScript. People are working around it pretty well, doing some pretty cool stuff with like Phaser and other frameworks. So I talked about C# being good for the enterprise, and we got a little list of what kind of I think enterprises like. There's not like a Wikipedia article on what enterprise is like, so this is just kind of spitball. But from my experience, enterprises, large companies, they like safety. They like to take risks. They like to be able to reuse code. They like to be able to hire. So I've got a list of things up there that kind of make that easier, make it an easier choice for large enterprises. JavaScript moves fast. New frameworks come and go. They come out of popularity. It can be hard, even regionally, to kind of hire people for different frameworks. I know Ember's kind of big in Orlando. It's not so big in some other places. React is pretty big in Orlando. I don't know about you. How's it doing? Yeah. So who knows, 3 years from now, it could totally flip-flop. Like, things change. I never would have thought, like, 10 years ago when Rails started coming up, that one day Django is going to beat it out, right? That's, Orlando's kind of a weird spot. Orlando's doing really good with Rails, but nationally, that's not the case. Like, Python's also crushing everyone. Python and JavaScript are kind of similar in a lot of ways. Both dynamic languages, both kind of fill the same niches. So, it's great to learn Python. If I were choosing just two languages, I would not choose, me personally, I would not choose JavaScript and Python. I would choose one or the other. That's just me. Am I crazy? Any rabid Python fans in the house? All right. We'll sell it at the bar. So, I don't recommend just knowing two languages. Use the best tool for the job. So this is a slide from the last ODevs meetup. Anybody there? All right, cool, that was awesome. Was that the fortress over by Full Sail, just by my house? Double awesome. Yeah, so they had a bunch of slides that were taken from the Orlando Developer Salary Survey that ODEV is always pushing. They haven't published these slides yet. So the best screen grab I could get was this with kind of Matt's butt and Matt Burgess. This is thanks to Dwayne, Conscious. So he got some video of this, but you can't really see it too well. But JavaScript is the primary language for most developers in Orlando. It's about 35%. C# is number 2 at 16%. So roughly 2 to 1 JavaScript to C#. That's not too crazy. You see similar type things on the salary survey from Stack Overflow. What's kind of interesting though is that C# shows up higher in salaries, about 20% higher last year and this year, 20% difference. So difference between $80,000 and $100,000 a year. Yeah, that's $2,000 a month almost. That's a pretty compelling reason for me to want to pick that up as a second language. But this is similar to the Stack Overflow survey results that were taken from around the world. Both have their own diversity challenges and aren't great, but I'd like to be able to see something locally. But the salary survey from Stack Overflow was similar; it just wasn't such a big difference. And Stack Overflow actually had the number of years experience in there too. So for the same years of experience, C# was a little bit higher. I think like 6,000, 7,000 higher. Maybe 10%. But I think it's interesting. It's good to know what's available locally. So a little bit about kind of the language specifics. So is it here like a hardcore coder? Well, Rockstar News, is that a yes? All right. So I was kind of tempted to really kind of dive into all the little nuances of C# and tell you about delegates and definitely generics and definitely link and all 4 of the letters that the lambdas and all the stuff that kind of make that up and tell you about all the little things that make it different, all the things that you can do in C# that make it different. But what I kind of figured out and kind of talking to Lee and kind of writing this is that really I like it for the same reasons. It's basically because it's a great developer experience, got great tools, and that developer experience lets me build great user experiences. So that's what I'm kind of focusing on tonight. But I can't resist a couple differences. So I looked up how many NuGet packages there are on the internet. So it's kind of like C#'s version of NPM. 157,000. Ooh, that's awesome. So do you know how many NPM has? I guess? Pretty close, and 1 million. 1 million, so that's an order of magnitude. That's a big one of the big orders. So yeah, it's a big difference. So that's a consideration. There's a lot more activity in NPM. NPM's been around for a lot less time than .NET. And NuGet's actually kind of new on the scene. They kind of stole some of the ideas from NPM. Didn't really solve any of the problems of it though. I don't know how to solve the problems that NPM has, like ad left and the Bitcoin mining or whatever, crypto. Oh, man. So keywords. Yeah, all right. So that's things like the words return, or new, or switch, or break, or there's a bunch of delete. These are keywords that are specific to the language. They do special things, kind of superpowers. C# has twice as many in 64. I kind of take that as a measure of complexity. There's just a lot of more stuff to trip on in C#. JavaScript has, 7 types? Is it object, null, nan, number, date? It's got a handful. You can memorize them. How many types do you think JavaScript has? That's a JavaScript too. But so I forgot to write that down actually. But I did look at how many public functions the languages have. Remember, I had a terrible week. So that's why. So let me know if I'm going off the rails, saying the wrong language. So there's 187 built-in functions in JavaScript. I counted them. So that may be a couple. Also eliminated dupes, like things like number has toString, null has probably not toString. Something else probably has toString. It was in there twice. I got rid of it. So I came up with 187. Anyone want to guess how many public functions C# has? So I'm talking about just the system libraries. That was a big part of the hard. It was hard to figure out, like, how do I even count? Yeah. So I counted over 14,000 deduped. That means I don't count toString on every object. I don't count get hash code and some things that are built in for every object. That's insane. A person can know 187 functions. You can memorize. You can know. Make flashcards for 187 JavaScript functions. You can know every single function for JavaScript. You can't even do that for the core system level libraries for C#. It's too much. But the kind of cool thing is that there's a lot of stuff built into those system level libraries. Those are things that a lot of times you can be getting packages for JavaScript. I got a couple examples here. Like, pad left. Remember that thing with pad left? Was the left pad? Person got mad and ripped it off, wrote builds for a day of the entire internet. It was just a silly little function that helped you align things in text. C# has that built in. Right? They also have pad right, so you don't need two separate packages for that. It's kind of nice. Things like database access, if you want to query a Postgres or an Oracle database or SQL Server database, that stuff's built in. That's pretty cool. And what's really cool about all this stuff, all the other stuff up there, is that if I am hiring for a .NET position, then chances are that they know how to query a database and they know how to do it in the same way that I do. There's consistency there. They can get up to speed on my project sooner because they're probably using the same pad left function that I am. They use the same database functions and the same calls to logging and stuff that I'm used to. It's also a bad thing, though. It's got chilling effects on open source projects because if stuff's built in the library and that's what everyone uses, why would you go and try to innovate and come up with a simpler or cooler or better interface or something when everyone's just going to use the built-in stuff anyway? So the good and bad there for a long time, C# and Microsoft developers in general kind of have this reputation of doing things the Microsoft way and having their blinders. So when MVC comes out, I don't know if this caused a kerfuffle in your ponds, but it did mine. Microsoft has a habit of kind of naming things generically and acting as if they kind of came up or they invented cloud or they invented Azure. They invented MVC. Was the big one. And they kind of try to take over these terms. And there are people out there that kind of seem to have those blinders on and kind of think that Microsoft did invent or that's the only way to do things. And it's not until people come in from other languages or kind of show them other ways, or Microsoft kind of learns things from other languages that those things change. And that kind of sucks. They're kind of trying to change that a little bit. They start making smaller libraries, kind of like NPM-ish. They don't bundle as much stuff into the libraries that you bring with you, which means you have to import more stuff. But overall, they're trying to address some of those problems. On to some of those similarities we keep saying we're going to talk about. Anyone want to guess what language this is? C# is also JavaScript. So the syntax is going to be really similar. Now in this case, I used the JavaScript feature. What I did is JavaScript has prototypical inheritance, so it means I can kind of graft on methods to the array prototype, and every array is going to have those methods if it didn't already have something in that slot. So when I call .where, it's mapped over to a filter. Never do this, by the way. This is terrible. That would be a funny one. April Fool joke. Release a library that just maps all the .NET stuff to JavaScript so you can program the way like you're used to. C#. I think that would be hilarious. I got another one. What language is this? Yeah, it's good. Yeah, the async and await syntax is very similar. I think C# came out first, but this one JavaScript kind of grabbed it. So you see a lot of similarities there. So if you're used to doing this stuff in JavaScript, and you're used to doing stuff here. Now, I'm not used to doing async late stuff in either language. Still, I get tripped up every time. But at least I get tripped up in the same ways. So working in both languages is nice, and I don't have a new paradigm that's totally different.
They're different.
Say what?
They're different.
Oh, how are they different?
They are different. Under the hood, they're a little different.
Oh, right. Yeah, I just mean more like a kind of syntax level, like the way you kind of write things, the naming conventions around async await, compared to something like those channels, it's totally different. Yeah. So I just mean that, it doesn't feel. And undercovers, very different. The way the compiler works and everything, the way it kind of generates stuff for you. Like C# has a compiler, so it's this kind of separate step that sits between what you're doing and typing and what actually gets run. And the compiler can do all sorts of crazy tricks. Like look for those keywords and generate code that you don't have to write. So C# has done a really good job over the last couple of years of adding a lot of sugar, basically going through and looking for common use cases where people maybe declare a variable here, so they use it on like a try parse, and they say like, hey, try to parse this to a number. If it works, set it, otherwise don't. There's a really common pattern, and we usually take 3 lines in C# every time we wanted to see if the string was a number. It was annoying, so they figured out how to kind of combine that with some kind of awkward syntax, but it's kind of slick too. I always forget that. But that's the kind of stuff that you can do with a compiler, and we're going to see some other examples of that in the code. There's some stuff you just flat out can't do in C#. I mean, that too, of course, but there's some things you can't do in JavaScript, like pointers. So this is some C# that looks more like a C or C++. Nobody ever does this stuff, and you shouldn't do this. It's kind of dangerous. There's a reason why we're using a managed language. If you want to do stuff like this, you should probably be doing it in some other language. Now, if you're working with Unity or something, if you're doing like a low-level graphics library or maybe some cryptography or something where it makes sense to access raw memory, and you can, that's cool. That's kind of nice, but continuous working on it, I've never had to do anything like that. So some of those differences, we touched on a lot of these. Static and strong typing is probably the biggest one. JavaScript, I do var x equals 1 on one line, and then var x equals new date on the next one, and then it's fine. That's valid. It was a number, now it's a date. Things have gotten better with let and const. Everything's changing all the time. It's really annoying and good. Annotations are really cool. It's a way to declaratively kind of decorate your code and tag it. Different bits of functionality, and that's the things that the compiler will look for in like inject code. We'll see some of that. Multi-threadedness. It's cool. It comes up sometimes. I'm glad to have that capability, although I don't think anyone who's ever worked with any of the multi-thread stuff in C# can really say that they've been happy about it, or even who's really done any serious multi-threading code and knows that it's not fun, really. It's kind of miserable. Or maybe I just sneak at it after that. Logical scoping, basically if I declare a var, it exists inside the curly brackets, then it doesn't get hoisted. I kind of think like with constant let and best practices, things like linters, JS lint, like that's not really such a problem. Like years ago, it used to be, especially with closures and stuff. I was always getting tripped up over what existed, what scoping was available in JavaScript. The tools have gotten better. The language itself has gotten better with ES6. And I use things like a transpiler, so I get those cool features, and I don't have to worry about the browser differences that used to trip me up. It's like all the bad stuff that I used to hate about JavaScript all kind of went away. I woke up one day and realized I didn't hate it anymore. And C# now, I've gotten kind of a point where like I realize that I like both of them. I'm okay with that. So when would you choose, or when would I choose to go with one or the other? Native app? I'd rather not do native apps, honestly. I'm just, maybe I'm a child of the internet or something. Large project launch teams. This is the true answer for me. This is when I would go for a C#. If there's more than 10 people on a team interacting with similar services or interacting services or same code base, I want C#. Because I want my stuff to break if somebody changes the arguments. I want to be able to look at a function and hit F12 to go to where it's defined or what the type is. So, I'm a big fan of that. I really like the web services too. Same reason with strong typing. I like to be able to see exactly what's going into web service and exactly what's going out. I don't want to look at the documentation. I don't want to try to read the code behind that to try and figure that out. I want the IDE to tell me. I want to see what my options are as I'm typing and know that it's guaranteed and not just picking that up because it saw the word up higher on the screen, like a lot of editors do. You see that it just kind of starts guessing other stuff that's on the same file for you. It's nice, it usually works out. But not always. No time, unicorns. Yes. I never know it's going to work. So back in the day, C# closely correlated to .NET, closely correlated to Windows. Anytime you want to do anything in Windows, like start, go find, right click properties, do click. That was kind of the joke, is like whatever it did, you had to know, you had to browse, you had to do it by hand. And a lot of times the CLI tools took a big back seat. And so sure, it was easy to just kind of build in Visual Studio, but when the CI/CD revolution came along, and people started wanting to automate stuff, and kind of wanting to deploy applications multiple times a day, which is absurd, right? But now it's kind of common. That was a big problem because the tools that we had for automating some of this stuff was just really baroque and awkward, because everyone, 10 years ago or more, had kind of intended you to click through that stuff. But it really wasn't set up to be automated. It was awkward. That's not the case anymore. .NET Core, starting with .NET Core, and moving on with .NET 5, there's a strong emphasis on the CLI. You can still do a lot of the same stuff through the tools, but by doing a CLI, it opens up a lot of things, because it means that tools like Visual Studio Code don't have to build in all the same support, all the same features and stuff as the big granddaddy Visual Studio.
Can you increase the font?
Oh yes. Is that working? Okay. Oh no, I have too many folders. I don't know which one's which. Let's just do presentation 2. That's not confusing. So that's such a horrible thing to do. But I did it. Alright, so now there's these new CLIs. So there's a bunch of templates. So I can do cool stuff. So if I want to start a console app, I can do that with probably console. I don't know. I didn't practice that. But I did practice web app. So this is going to spin up a new ASP.NET website. It's going to be kind of old school. It's going to be server-side rendering, which is oddly kind of coming back around again. It's getting kind of more popular. People look at things like Next and Nuxt. And that's the kind of stuff that ASP is kind of, this is bread and butter. That's how it kind of got started. So now that we're happy with the font size, I'm going to switch somewhere else. That's how it works. Alright, so here's what it's set up for me. For some reason, I always ask me that. I don't know what it's doing. They wouldn't ask me if it was a bad thing, right? Alright, so now we are in our presentation. We have our files. It's not running, so I'm going to do a .NET run. I'm going to do a .NET watch run. Basically just watches the files, and it's going to recompile whenever it sees a change. It's kind of like the hot reloading and stuff. That's kind of common. And it mostly works pretty good. By the way, I'm doing some Visual Studio Code. That may not be a big deal to you, but that's crazy to me. Like I once lost a bet and swore I would get a tattoo in Visual Studio. I can't show it to you. They haven't released it for Mac, and they did. Even like the big Visual Studios, that there's a version for Mac, and just being able to do this on VS Code is not something I ever would have imagined even 5 years ago. I probably made that bet like maybe even 4 years ago. I said, no way. No way. Yes way. Alright, you guys ready for the big reveal? Ta-da! Pretty cool, right? This is the weird part. If I view the source, it's actually what I'm seeing on the screen. Like, that's not so common these days in the age of spas. So that's kind of neat. It's pretty nice to debug. And That's how I was used to working for a long, long time. And I'm not too crazy about server-side rendering these days. I got my money on spas and real-time rendering. But it's still kind of cool to see the old way. And it's got server-side includes. Anyone do PHP? Yeah. So the reasons I used to like things like PHP and Cold Fusion, RIP, is because it would let me basically have easy database access and server-side influence. That's all I really like about the language. And ASP has that. They have basically a layout template that kind of includes wraps my actual content. So if I go look at my index page, then all it is just my actual index page. And I've got the layout, this kind of stuff that you're used to if you're working on websites nowadays. Like this is kind of standard fare. At the time this stuff came out, though, it was pretty freaking cool. And if we look over here, there's going to be a CS file behind it. And we can start making changes. And what I like is this tooling. You see, we've got like 6 references. I think that's nifty. And it's not guessing. It's not looking because of naming conventions. So if I'm not getting false matches here, I've actually got. I don't know how to get there. Those are real references to this file. I don't normally use Visual Studio Code. So it's like reason number 3 why this is up. We'll get through it. Alright. So I've got a model here. This is associated with my view. So if I want to add a property over here, like string name, center, I can default this to, what's the name? Alright. I get some little squiggles because I put it in the wrong space. And man, I love those squiggles. It's always putting things in the wrong spot. So I had a namespace. Namespace is kind of like a module. It's just kind of a logical way of organizing stuff. It usually maps to the folder structure. Not always. Like Java is very strict about that. C# will let you do whatever you want. But now I've got a name up here. So if we go back to our index file, we see we've got a model here. That's kind of the glue that kind of balance things up. So I come in here and say, welcome, model dot, where is it? Model Kaplan, model dot name. And because this is being watched, it should show, then refresh, Alright, welcome Joe, awesome, right? Hey, just like 15 years ago. This has been amazing. Yeah, so it's kind of nice. And you can do all the kind of stuff that you're used to doing when you're doing rendering. You can loop over collections, you can associate stuff, you got the strong typing. I can do like add left right there. No import. I haven't done anything with NuGet yet. There's a lot of other stuff in there too. And I like the fact that I can just hit dot and see all that stuff. That's the kind of tooling, those kind of productivity that I get. Prevents errors, keeps me from going to Stack Overflow every 2 seconds. So I love that sort of stuff. And you can get absolutely buried in here. When you go in, you can kind of keep going, you can change stuff, you can see arguments, you can see descriptions. So anyway, I like that sort of thing. And arguments are pretty similar too. The current point is showing you this part is just to show you that you can do this. You can .NET do web app and be up and running with server-side rendering in 2 seconds. You can start playing around. You can start plugging into databases. All that stuff is built in. You don't have to go researching packages. You don't have to decide between this one or that one. Like if you're doing .NET development, you're either using any framework or Debugger. You're either going like big time ORM, like generate the database, go crazy, manage your changes, kind of like a migrate or something, or an active model for Rails. Or you do Dapper where you just kind of throw queries at it and we'll just kind of figure out how to map it. There aren't a lot of hard decisions to make with that. You don't have to do a lot of research. You can just Google like C# database and you'll find like the same examples on all 10 of the blog posts because it's done in the same way. That's good and bad. If I want to take parameters, then I can do that. So it's super cool. I don't actually know how to do the Mac. It's normal. Hey, look at that. And I already knew to take it and map it. It's kind of nice. Well, there's some magic going on there. There's a lot to know. You know, I'm making it look easy here, but there really is like you got to know to do that stuff. It's going to take some Googling. It's going to take some work to kind of figure out how to do things that you already know how to do in other languages. But the benefit is enterprises love it, and you got the enterprise shader. And it's really nice. It's nice. It's cool. It feels like JavaScript.
Hey Joe, are there any advantages or disadvantages for using Visual Studio versus C#?
So Visual Studio, the big one on Windows, and the one that is on Mac too, probably. It's awesome. It's fantastic. It's perfect for C#.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, there's no reason to switch to VS Code if you're used to Visual Studio. It's just got better tooling. Everything is just a little bit better. Like even I can press a button to build it and run it and pass the Docker, and I get the graphs on the right of the memory usage. I can explore all that stuff. It's just it's purpose built for that. So if you can use Visual Studio, then it's going to be a better experience for you. If you can't, and this is pretty big. You know, it's got the code lint stuff, it's got the Git integration, it's got the unit test stuff built in. You can find plugins for the stuff that isn't, and it works surprisingly well. I forgot to stop this over here. It's going to show an example that I like a little bit better. Let that shut down because it's using my ports. I guess that's done. I don't know how computers work either. This will find out if it doesn't work here. So go up a level and make another directory, call it presentation. Alright. Now because I'm lazy, I'm just going to open another code. I'm going to shut this one down. Alright. We've got a new folder here, presentation 3. World is our oyster. I'm going to do another website. New, and I'm going to do React this time. And somebody made a template for React. It's not been updated, so it doesn't have hooks yet, unfortunately. I know, but it's not hard to change the version number and get the template working. So if you're looking to contribute, you can say I contributed to Microsoft, and that would be a good thing to add. So just like that, it ran create React up for me, and installed it if I needed, or if it didn't, it just kind of took care of that. So if I do, I'm going to do a .NET run this time. I'm not going to watch it. And if this goes well, then it's going to spin up a React app for me. It's going to spin up ASP.NET for the web services. It's going to give me a little demo of those things we're talking about. So it's kind of like a standard website. There's probably a Vue one. There's definitely an Angular one. And these are the ones actually provided by Microsoft too. It's still kind of strange to me, and it's another kind of example of like people doing stuff in Microsoft way. Like even though I'm doing React, I'm doing it in Microsoft described way. That's kind of nice. If you Google like ASP.NET and React, you're probably going to find people doing it exactly like this, and know exactly what your problems are. You can ask people to meet up how they're doing it. It's probably the same way. They probably hit the same problems. So it's consistent, if nothing else. Get another drum roll here. I forgot to use Chrome. 3 drum roll. Ta-da! Alright. So it kind of looks like the last one a little bit. But now if I view source. Now this is what I expect of a modern web app. You need to enable JavaScript programs out. And that's what I'm used to. I've got my little div through, like this looks like React to me. And this is not very helpful, but they're great tools around React. Anybody React experts in here? Yeah. If you're not Angular? Ember? Yeah. You guys just vanilla? Node experts? Yeah. Cool. All right, rock on. All right, so over here, it's not very interesting, just kind of normal React-y stuff. I'm going to go over to fetch data, and I've got a weather forecast. And if I haven't mentioned it like 10 times already, my AC has been out for like the last week, and I'm still hot thinking about it. It's been miserable. So even seeing this demo has been kind of offensive to me. So I decided to change that. You can do the thing. No, I think that's not a good angle for me. I'm going to do this again. This time we're going to watch the XHR tab over here. You can see weather forecast. So I'm hitting a URL. I just closed. And we got some stuff back. And React knew how to take that, set it as a state, knew how to render it. Kind of standard spa type stuff. So if we look at how that is done on the C# side, this is one of the things that I really like C#. So I mentioned there's like the 3 reasons I would choose C#. Reason number 3 is the web services. It just makes sense to me. I like how this stuff works. I like the strong typing. I like that I can click around and see the references. It just makes sense to me. So if we come down here, does that look all right? Ish. Everybody awake? All right. So there's weather forecast. The way it kind of maps to it is basically I've got a route here in these cool brackets. Controller refers to this part of the name. So leaving the controller off, some little convention there. Same with action. Action refers to my method name here. So in order to call this function, I go to my website /API/sample data/weather forecast. And that was the URL that React can call. And it's going to give you back some weather forecasts, which are just their kind of class down here. So nothing too amazing. We do have a derived temperature Fahrenheit field. That's kind of nice. But other than that, just kind of a plain old C# object, the POCO. And there it is. And you can see we're just doing some kind of random numbers here and trying to figure out some good temperatures to display. We're actually taking the summaries and we're doing that random as well. So if we look back over here, you can see that 75 degrees is hot, 20 degrees is cool, 51 is scorching. So this app is not so great. So if you want to make some improvements to this template, it's all open source and you can get that on your resume. Make that enterprise shitter. But like I mentioned, I have a chip on my shoulder about HVAC right now. So I thought it'd be cool to do some Thanos stuff. Get the Infinity Gauntlet, make it change. So we're going to make a function here called snap. I'm just going to take this weather forecast object. I'm going to call it the perfect day. And we really don't need all this stuff. We don't need the random numbers. We'll keep with the 5 days as we're doing a 5-day forecast. I don't need to create a new weather forecast. The syntax is kind of cool though, right? See, I'm newing up the class and I'm passing parameters to it. That looks a lot like JavaScript to me. That's somewhat newer for C#, the initialization. You can do the same thing by taking this out. Let me just take this part out. We're not going to need this stuff. Let's just get rid of that for now. We're making our own day here. So what I could have done is a var w equals new weather forecast, and this var looks like it might be a dynamic type, but if I mouse over it, I can actually see that it's a weather forecast object because it knows, the IntelliSense and the compiler know what that var type is going to be. It's called type inference based on what's returned by this function. So I, as a developer, don't have to worry too much, especially if this is like a different kind of function or if that return that object changes. I don't have to worry about it. This is just going to be right. But instead of doing that initialization tree, I could have done this. I could have put in whatever I want. And you see I've got all the cool abilities, all the stuff right there listed out that I can set. Set temperature F. Okay, yeah. Like a little squid and let me know that, hey, that's read only. I'm a fan. That's the tooling that I love. I've already got a perfect day. My client is you're going to tell me your perfect day. And then we're just going to make it happen. And we snap. So we're going to post. The action is going to be snap. We're going to give it our perfect day. And it's going to tell us the next 5 days are going to be that day. Some pretty expert level coding now. Changing the weather, but it's hard, guys. Come on. All right. Then we have to make a little action in React. Now I'm not so good with React, so this is going to be the fun part. I work in JavaScript all the time. I use EXT.js. Anyone heard of that one? Keep it that way. It's alright. It's old. It's really declarative. It's kind of a weird way of doing things. It's like a path that JavaScript could have gone down based on the UI library, Yahoo's. And they didn't go that way. So the internet zagged instead of zigging. It still works great, but it's just a very different way of working. A lot of JSON. So I come over here and fetch data. This is where the magic happens in React. Come down here, and I'm going to create a button. I've practiced this part, so hopefully it's all right. I'm going to call it snap, of course. Oh no. That is when I hate when autotyping goes wrong and process goes wrong. And it hasn't seen this one, so it's just assuming something else. It's like autocorrect on your phone. And I think because it's React, I have to do this. I don't know. Does anyone know if that's necessary for this? I'm not passing any arguments. Do I need to bind the scope?
Yeah, let's run it.
Okay, so I'm good. So works as intended. If not, it's Lee's fault. All right, so go ahead. We'll just write a quick function. We're not going to spend too long over here. So I'm actually just going to copy. That's how I typically program. Now we're seeing my real kind of day-to-day. I find something that works, and then I ruin it. I think I called it snap. Snip? Really? Oh gosh. I'm glad you're in. Snip? I hate those messages too. I do miss Visual Studio, the big one, but you don't need it. Don't let that be a reason for not messing with this stuff. I think I called that snap. So I'm going to call that endpoint. I'm going to get the same return type as I did the other function. I'm just going to display that data. So now I just need to actually pass that perfect day. Which means a couple things. First, I need to actually create my perfect day. And I don't know. So I can do that. I could go look around here and try to find. I guess this is probably the easiest way to do it, so I'll just do that. That's me passively, aggressively kind of showing that I don't have type completion here. If I'm out of type, it's just a const. It doesn't know yet. It's not its fault. And all days are going to have, every day is going to be the same. Every day is going to be amazing. So just another amazing day. Anyone here knows Celsius? All right, what's a good temperature?
28.
28? That sounds high. All right. This is going to be for the world for all time, so. All right, 28. Normally I type from my bed or from home. So typing where I can actually see my hands and computer is very strange. It's just a perfect day. Alright, so I've got a perfect day. Now I need to pass it to my fetch function. If I haven't messaged it 82,000 times already, I'm old. So fetch is still kind of new to me, so I'm probably going to mess it up. Pink headers. See, that's nice. I get some type that, like, I'm still amazed that I get that sort of level of completion. It's the little things, you know? I like getting headers. I like, that's the content type of application.json, although I don't like having to set this. I'm used to using Axio, it's just going to kind of take care of that stuff for me. But in practicing this demo, I didn't see that that was important. We got a string of 5. Our perfect day. So, if I did this right, 60% chance it's going to post this perfect day to our service. You can see the inputs and outputs. There's a couple weird things. Like I've got a lowercase d here, lowercase d, it's like JavaScript syntax styling. That's not how my C# was, if you remember, it had capital D's, T's, and S's. But I think that the framework's going to take care of that for me. And if not, I can override it. So I don't have to change my JavaScript just because of the backend that I'm using. I don't want my JavaScript to even know that this is .NET. I want it to be, a little secret. And because I'm not very confident, I'm going to go ahead and set a breakpoint. So, y'all familiar with saying breakpoints in like Chrome, saying Debugger, click that little thing on the side? How many of you are debugging JavaScript, Node, or front end with Visual Studio Code? Is that like a yeah all the time? So I did it once, and yeah.
As much as possible.
So I still have not gotten into the habit of doing it in Node, but C# all day long, all day to break it on. I'm setting breakpoints, I'm debugging. That's just part of my workflow. So I don't know if maybe JavaScript development will someday be like that for me. Maybe there are people in the world that are already doing that. Maybe it's a bad way of working. That's why people don't do it.
You talk about the front end? Or?
Yeah, friendly.
Oh, yeah. It's not out of the box.
Mm-hmm. So just like kind of debuggers in there. Yeah. I just have a kind of setting through the Node. I just never really understood how I attached to that.
There's a lot of configuration beforehand. Once you get it right, it's different from one project to another. So never really a silver bullet.
Gotcha. Got it. Right. There's all that still exists in C#. It's all still a pain in the butt, but it's hidden for me. Like when I did that .NET New project, it hooked all that stuff for me. It created like the launch configuration JSON file. It kind of told it all the magical stuff, told it the ports, told it how to attach. I don't have to worry about this stuff. I like not worrying about stuff. Alright, so we got Snap. So instead of doing the watch thing, we just kind of ran it. So I'm going to stop it. And I'm sure there's a better way, a more slicker way of kind of attaching. In Visual Studio proper, I don't normally stop the website every time I make a change here to debug. I just don't know how to do it here. I'm going to go ahead and say start debugging. And I forgot that I need to make a choice there. There's that launch.json.
You're going to need to exit it's running in the terminal.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to stop that. There we go. Which one is it? Alright, so this is it configuring that for me. And here's that weirdo configuration stuff that you have to do for like Node or for anything else that's gonna configure that. So hopefully I did that right, because I forgot about that step. So now if I hit start debugging, we get our little step fees. Oops. I say it came out now. Man, our 60% went down to like 2. So I clicked the wrong button. That's okay. Like when in doubt, just restart. Oh no. Okay, what did I do wrong here? So I just want to launch a local .NET Core remote.
And
You
if
do.
you just configuration,
Yeah, you don't need it.
if you delete the configuration and just hit F5,
Okay.
it's gonna by default kind of sense that this is one project, and then it'll set the configuration for you.
All right. So F5 did. Now let's say it worked. Hey, it does some crazy stuff. There we go. Pop this back open over here. Go to fetch data. We've got the breakpoint set on that method. So theoretically, when I hit this button, it didn't. So let's go see what I did wrong over here. Somehow I lost my breakpoint. So you've got the little unverified breakpoint, means that it didn't build properly. If I did something goofy,
It's in the C# context. That's the one thing about code where the big Visual Studio on Windows, and then you can step through both. Switch context. With visuals, with code, you have to delineate where you're running. So in essence, you kind of have to have your core application running in a separate instance, and then you have your client application actually launched and running in JavaScript.
okay.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, dang. Well,
And
it
that's
worked.
it'll only really work if you have course
Yeah. Well, so that's fun. So I swear I tried this a couple times today. But I don't want to get hung up on it. So let's just pretend that it hit over here, and I was able to see that my perfect day came across, but it was filled with holes.
That was C#.
This one worked earlier. I know it worked earlier because I did not do this right the first like 5 times.
Sorry, I thought you were breaking into JavaScript.
Yeah, I don't think it didn't prompt me last time I did it to edit the configuration. I don't know what happened there. Maybe they'll just magically be right. Yeah, you just gotta do it twice. Fixed. Yeah, when you go looking for that on Stack Overflow, and I just don't do it twice. But just like I said, so I didn't get my arguments. I passed it. There's a couple things that could be wrong, like I had the cases incorrect. I'm not really sure. I do know, I am sure. I know the answer. I know that there's a default serializer that knows how to kind of check for case like that, and you can set that, you can actually override for field too. So if you want to have a different name in JavaScript, a different name on C#, it's fine. If you want to specify a specific date format, that's fine. But in our case, this isn't something that I like very much, but I need to add a from body because of how I'm passing the perfect date over. This is another one of those annotations that kind of tells the compiler where that stuff's going to come from. And I wish I didn't have to do that. I would like to know I have to do that. So maybe C# scripts. It's been very annoying to me.
You don't have to, but I think you need to pass an exact object, even if it's null.
So maybe because I didn't pass the temperature.
So you need to associate them all. But one of them is read only, so obviously I'm not sure how that you can pass it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. So normally the kind of the convention is like, if you do an object like a weather forecast, it should have taken that in, not until it was from the body. If it was simple like a string, it should have come and been looking for the URL. That's just, that's the one thing. So what do you think our odds are now? This working? Oh, you guys aren't very confident in me. Come on. You can do the thing. Alright, let's see here. So we hit the breakpoint. This is what the C# developers day is really like. Okay, those in the debugger. So this time we did see the data got passed. Still haven't quite figured out why. We got some theories, we'll get that figured out. Take a block. But that looks good. So this should go through. It's not a perfect day. Oh yeah, that's too much for me. But yeah, I don't know how Celsius for AI works, so I don't know how to fix it. So. You only get one wish. Oh, Oh, I forgot I was gonna make everyone snap. I forgot to snap. Can we? William and I will do it at the same time. I was so excited about this too. It's the air conditioner, I tell you. You gotta get your excuses ahead of time. Alright, so it's gonna work this time. So I'm just gonna run it. It's a debugger. I could get a breakpoints off and just left it, but I forgot. So come back over here. I'm gonna refresh unnecessarily. That's also the thing I do a lot. Alright, and I'm gonna hit this button. On the count of 3, I'll let everyone snap. We're gonna make the entire world 82 degrees Fahrenheit for the rest of forever. Nothing you can do about it except go back in time. So, 1, 2, 3. And there's actually a lot more I was going to show, but I like to end on high note. So we're just going to cap it there. For real. Let's see what it's working. Yeah, so that was pretty much what I'm going to show. So there's a lot of other stuff like I can show you weird stuff all day long. Like, I don't know if there's anything specific, any questions, anything you've heard about C# that sounded super cool or super dumb that you ever wanted to know about. Now's a good time to ask or at the bar later.
Do you have any suggestions for people that are really or for like well versed in JavaScript, like any kind of material or places that look up C#?
So if you're looking for
place to start.
So if you're looking for like just kind of language specifics, like you know how to program, you know how to FizzBuzz your way out of the paper bag, whatever, you just kind of want to like pick up the kind of conventions, then I would look at the link library. If you just Google LINQ, that's kind of the magic sauce that like a lot of kind of more modern and like kind of nicer C# is doing a lot of. And it's going to be a lot of the kind of functional style programming stuff that they kind of borrow from like F# and whatnot. Syntax wise there. If you're looking for more of the integration type stuff, like the ASP, like kind of cutting edge stuff, it's not really very cutting edge. Like Blazor is kind of the new hotness that some people are talking about, but I don't know. I'm a version 3 kind of guy, so I'm kind of staying away from that. So I would just focus on those things and I would browse and again try to look for cool libraries like generate maze or something. Do something kind of fun with that. But really, the big language fundamentals, if you know JavaScript, it's going to be very similar. So just pick something cool.
I'm coming from, say, like more of a C++, Python, and JavaScript background. What projects would be good besides like a new app, for example, to get started with C#, .NET, and everything else?
Sure. So that's a really good question. So are you interested in doing like websites with it or just anything?
More websites, website, but I'm also open to doing anything like creating like a link list or creating a brand, for example.
Cool. So, man, if you're not really super into making UI, I would do stuff like admin and code or code wars to kind of get the basics of the language. But if you like to have a project where you kind of like show, here's something cool that I did, and something like if you're a C++ experience, that like that's something most people don't have. So that's kind of like a cool little knife you can pull out, right? And it's going to help you as a utility. So I would look at spinning up processes. So like literally mess around with Docker a lot. I kind of made a little admin panel where it's terrible security wise, but it funnels basically requests from the UI from the website, passes it, and it runs it in the process. And I've got multiple processes going on, they're talking to each other. It's terrible security wise to run this on the website, but it's really cool. And if that's something you use to kind of spin up processes and do the neat stuff, you can run any command line tools there. So what I'm basically doing is creating like an admin panel for work. So all the crazy commands that I do in the day, like get check out, do stuff like that, I funnel that stuff off to a terminal. So I think that would be a cool project. That would kind of be some stuff that's like kind of unique to your skill set there that I think would be really cool. You can run. It's really good. This JavaScript library called Xterm. Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But basically, it gives you a little terminal in the browser, and so I run commands through Xterm. I see it as if it's a terminal, but it's actually on the server. So it's kind of neat to be able to kind of do stuff.
Another one with Xterm, the library that you described, run on Mac, is actually on Mac.
So the Xterm is like a whole other kind of console thing, but the library I'm talking about is specifically Xterm.js, which runs in a browser, and I got some code I can show you. I can think I called it. Where is my typing? I don't know how to use computers. GitHub code blocks. I think I call it link. So right here. I'm a serial side projectist. So in the README, I've got a little picture of what I'm talking about. This is probably much easier saying. Basically, I can do a bunch of like Docker kind of actions and just takes all the commands and it runs it via terminal. So this screenshot is showing the logs and it's a little bit behind, but I can also attach Docker so I can actually run commands on these Docker containers from the website. Terrible idea. Don't ever install this on the work server, but if you do, it's pretty cool. Right. And you can literally run any command. You can do whatever you want. So it's neat. And you can type. I actually pass the keystrokes back and forth, so like I get like autocomplete and stuff. So it's like it's as if I SSH with the servers. I love it. I decided not to show this tonight. Sorry. We talked about this, and I think Lee specifically told me not to bring this up. But let's talk about it. I've got a couple resources here. You brought up the .NET Core podcast earlier. Yeah, so that's a great resource. It's a podcast that's new. It doesn't carry along a lot of the old baggage. It's really great because I think the first episode is really great. The kind of history, if you want to catch up on that, and everything else is just really cool takes on it. Interviews with some people that are doing really cool stuff in the space. So I definitely recommend that. And also, this is a joint production here with OneTug. OneTug is amazing. You can see talks there every month on things about the .NET ecosystem, a lot of C#, especially Code Camp. Every year they put on a fantastic free conference on a Saturday where you can go and have dozens, hundreds, like there's like 100 talks, right? Last year to choose from. And a healthy chunk of those were based around C#, .NET, all sorts of cool stuff. So I think that was in March of this year, so it'll probably be around that start of time frame next year. Just awesome. It's an amazing resource. And the people that run OneTug, people that go to those meetings are all amazingly smart and fantastic and do really cool stuff all the time. So so those are my two resource suggestions. And of course, if you like podcasts, do a little podcast, if you like stuff like this, or if you liked enough of this to believe in the potential in a non-sleepy, heat-frustrated Joe Zach's point of view, then maybe you would enjoy this.